Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. ETFs. Friday was not a good day for Bitcoin. Big outflow. Friday last week wasn't good all around. Last week was just horrible. Okay, for Bitcoin and crypto. That's why we fell back down to 101 again. We fell below 100. So on Friday, obviously a lot of panic. 560 million outflow. Ethereum, not as bad. 46 million outflow. Okay. And Solana is the only one that had inflow of 12.7 million. So we'll see if that reverses this week. Strangely enough, like on Thursday, there was a big reversal. And then Friday happened, and then it's like, oh, Friday is just like everyone was afraid of the government shutdown again and all that, and it's just like never ending. But as soon, it may be ending today, which is good. Also, here's what's really strange too. We know that there are some Bitcoin whales that have been selling off, either buying ETH, it seems like, or shorting against the market, or simply selling. I don't know how legit this is, but according to this article, which pointed to this person, he's been claiming that the Winklevoss twins themselves, who are the owners of Gemini Exchange, they've been selling their own Bitcoin. They've been transferring Bitcoin to their hot wallet. And this is not like selling for the people. They're selling themselves. They're from their own holdings. And he's assuming that these transfers are sells because they're transferring to the hot wallet. They have sold 9,000 Bitcoin year to date. Again, we don't know if this is actually true, but it could be. I don't know. I don't know why they would sell nearly 1 billion of their own Bitcoin, but it just seemed like this cycle is weird. We have all these like whales out of nowhere. All of a sudden that woke up after 10 years and they decided to sell like $1 billion or like $100 million, and then they're like shorting the market. Like, where is that coming from? Why now? It's like out of the blue. It's so weird. It's weird. So again, I don't know. There's a lot of finger pointing at this point, right? However, this is all speculation. What's not speculation? Well, if you look at, again, the fundamentals of Bitcoin and the overall ecosystem is great. Here's a guy that just closed his 11-month short on strategy. Okay. He is a famous shorter. I guess even more famous than Michael Burry. Because Michael Burry always just like shorts everything, and he's been wrong since 2008. Jim, it sounds like Thanos. Jim Thanos. Chanos. He finally closed his 11-month short on strategy because strategy is like NAV basically. I've fallen to a point where he's like, okay, they're not overvalued right now. They're not overvalued anymore, so I'm going to close it. So does this mean that MicroStrategy is about to go up? Does this mean this is a good thing for all Bitcoin treasury companies, right? We'll see. I don't really think MicroStrategy's like stock performance really had anything to do with just his short position. I think a lot of it had to do with Bitcoin overall, and also Saylor's strategy of selling off shares to buy Bitcoin. But who knows? Maybe his short position was so large it was holding it down. And maybe he has other short positions too that he may be closing now. Because he recognizes, well, this is just not the right time to be shorting anymore. We'll see. But strategy continues to add. They added another 487 Bitcoin. So that's roughly 50 million. So Saylor does not care who's shorting his company or who's betting against him. he would continue to do what he's doing, and that is to just add more Bitcoin. And he's about to come out with another company, or maybe he has already, in Europe to raise more money to buy more Bitcoin. So he has all these preferred stock holding companies, Strike, Stride, Strife, Strike. I don't know. He has many strikes and stride. I don't know what STRE is anymore. But yeah, he has 5 different companies now, along with strategy, and they give out dividend, but overall they just raise money to buy more Bitcoin. That's it. So that's not gonna stop. You have Mitsubishi, which is one of the biggest banks in Japan and on the planet. 605 billion in market cap. I don't know market cap of holdings. Maybe in market cap. Mitsubishi is huge in Japan. Well, they just added strategy, okay, which is basically like buying Bitcoin. You have BNY Mellon that increased their Bitcoin holdings by 140% last quarter. So you definitely still have a lot of accumulation, right? You have a lot of people, like retail people and maybe some Wall Street guys, that have become so fearful they just stopped adding. But some of these, the biggest whales, the biggest institutions out there, they know what's up. They don't care. They don't care about the FUD that's happening now, like the government shutdown. They know it's going to be over. Government shutdown is not going to happen. It's not going to last for years. And everything else that we're going through, you know, they've seen. They know. And if they understand, they will continue to accumulate. Like most of us that are long-term holders, right? But a lot of retail people, a lot of Wall Street traders, they don't. And they will sell off. Anytime we have a little weakness or a little bit of a prolonged sideways action, I guess. All right. Now, just a few other things that show that Bitcoin and his big move is about to start. I think we need a big catalyst like this government shutdown ending, which could be a huge one. But obviously, we're in November. This is normally known as Pumpvember. And a lot of bottom indicators. Here's a supplies quantiles cost basis model. Okay. The thing to take from this is when we hit yellow or orange in this case, that's a bottom indicator. That happened right around October of last year. It happened around October 2023. And even happened around April this year, even though we didn't actually hit that line.